Welcome to Vetted Conversations, coming to you from Radio Row at Super Bowl 60. This is our roadshow series where we take the mission on the road and our bias for patriotism travels with us. Today, Anil sits down with Khalid Cannon, Executive Director of Put Me In, an organization with a simple but powerful mission, helping kids with parents in prison play sports. Khalid knows this world personally, having grown up with a father in prison in Alabama before going on to become a 3-year starter on the offensive line at Yale. In this conversation, they dig into how youth sports gave Khalid a place to just be a kid, why that experience lit a fire under him to build something bigger, and how Put Me In is now changing the lives of over 150 families across the country. They also explore the striking parallels between finding your team on the field and finding your community in the military, and why everyone deserves access to that sense of belonging. We're your veteran and military family member hosts, bringing you the conversations that matter. So let's get into it.
Hey everyone, this is Anil Nathan, your host for Vetted Conversations here on Radio Row in San Francisco, California. And I had the pleasure of being joined by Khalid Cannon from Put Me In. Khalid, thanks for making the time.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
So tell me a little bit about what brings you to Radio Row and the Super Bowl festivities this week.
Absolutely. So I'm proud to be the executive director of Put Me In, and we're an organization that helps kids with parents in prison play sports.
That's a phenomenally concise and direct, clear articulation of what the organization does. Tell me a little bit more about how it works.
Yeah, we try to keep it tight.
I love it, yeah.
How they actually do that is we give kids $1,000 a year that goes toward their registration fees, their equipment, and their travel. So they have an opportunity to be just like any other kid, so they can get involved and stay active. We developed a mobile app in 2021 that allows us to distribute funding across the country to all of our families. So we've got a very lean and efficient operation with 2 people and over 150 families across the country.
Amazing. And so tell me how you got started with this organization, where the inspiration came from.
So for me, this is a cause that's really near and dear to my heart. I grew up with a father in prison in Alabama. And for me, youth sports was a great outlet. It was the opportunity for me to be just like any other kid. When I'm on the field, there was no one thinking about where's my dad or what are my circumstances. I'm just going to be an athlete. I'm going to compete. And that's where I felt at home. And I was really lucky to have an amazing community that supported me and pushed me to do these things. So they pushed me athletically, also pushed me academically, and I had the privilege of ending up at a place like Yale after that. So I was a 3-year starter on the offensive line at Yale and was incredibly blessed to have this crazy journey of starting on a chicken farm in Alabama, going to a place like Yale, and then having a great career in consulting afterwards. And in the summer of 2020, I was connected to another Yale football player who was 17 years older, very similar circumstances, and he was really focused on giving back to kids that came in our situation. And so we connected, we built Put Me In, and about 5 years later now, we're helping 150 kids across the country.
It's amazing, and I love the story and the personal nature of why this mission is so important to you. And so I know you gave me a few little trading cards here, just I'll show them for the camera. Tell me about these. These are incredible to see. I'm assuming these are some of the kids who are in the program.
Yes, we've got amazing athletes across the country. And so we've got a few of them that we've turned into their pro cards. And so on the far left, you've got Michael, who's a great football player out in Massachusetts. And Michael's a great kid. He'd never really played sports until he joined the program. The family just couldn't really afford it. No fault of his own. And his mom really wanted to be the one that pushed him into getting involved. And he went from having not a lot of friends at school and kind of getting frequent calls home from teachers of he's not focusing, he's not engaged, he's not really connected, to once he joined the football team, he became this leader out of nowhere. He found his people, he found this confidence, and he started taking other kids who weren't coming from these other great situations under his wing. And so he blossomed overnight. Now he's going on into his freshman year of high school and still thriving, and we're super proud of him.
Very cool.
Similar story with Cam, where he's a bit younger, but Cam used to be one of these kids who would stay after his own karate class to help kids with special needs compete, make sure they got their routine down, and helping with their kicks and chops, and just going that extra mile. And you can just see this heart of gold in him. And he's one of the most impressive kids you'll ever meet. We had a great opportunity where Julian Edelman's our official athlete ambassador, and we had an event in Boston a few months ago, and seeing Julian and Cam just talk to each other, captain to captain, and sharing how do they lead. Like you would not believe that Cam's 11 years old talking to a Super Bowl MVP about how he leads his teammates. It's amazing.
That is incredible. And then tell me about Alani.
Finally, we've got Alani, who's also out here in the Bay Area. And so Alani is a multiple-time junior Olympian.
Wow.
So incredibly fast. She runs the 800. She's got an older sister who's also a junior Olympian, but now is focusing on basketball. And she's just this huge heart of gold. I used to live in Austin, Texas, and she was competing at one of the junior Olympics at Texas A&M. And so I got to do the drive over and watch her compete. And she didn't have the best day ever that day, but afterwards, she was just so heartbroken, and it was one of these things that really moved me. And it wasn't because she lost. It was because she felt like she let everyone else down, that I had driven over, her coach had flew in from the Bay, her mom had invested so many hours into her for this. And it wasn't that they were putting pressure on her, it was like she just wanted to make everyone proud and show them that what she could become because of them, like she wanted to be able to push herself over that edge.
It's amazing. Incredible impact, and it's always, when you talk to organizations who are in the service space, to bring it to life with actual faces and names and stories is always so powerful. So it's incredible to hear about it. And it's interesting when you're talking about the benefit that sports provides to kids who are maybe lacking a little bit of structure, or where they can benefit significantly from the structure as a means of kind of dealing with a lot of the challenges that they may have had in their life. There's a lot of similarities to folks who go into the military and the structure that the military can provide in a similar context. And so we're always talking with other organizations and people in this arena on Radio Row about the intersection of sports and the military. And this is just another avenue that we haven't really thought about, but it's clearly very powerful.
Like the old mantra of "it takes a village" is so true. And for many of you all, it's finding the military as some of the first times you've ever felt seen in your life. And for our kids, finding their team, finding their coaches, and all their teammates is one of the first times they feel at home.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that everyone deserves access to, whether it's joining the military or joining a soccer team.
Yeah, it's community, right? It's
Absolutely.
having a community that you can be a part of and feel support from, so that you're going through life not alone. Right? It's so important. Well, this is fantastic. If somebody wants to get involved with Put Me In, how can they support? How can they help?
Yes, we've got a great website at putmein.org, and you can check out a bunch of our resources online there. We've got links to sign up and register your children for our waiting list. We've got about 50 kids across the country right now waiting to join, and there's also opportunities to donate as well to get some of those kids off of our waiting list. And so those are the best ways to stay in touch with us right now.
Fantastic.
I'm a big believer in the American dream is still alive. I think a lot of people misconstrue the American dream of going from where I came from in Alabama to being Jeff Bezos. But the American dream is just helping your family climb one generation after another. And I feel like that's what we're building for our kids in our program, and that's what people can do for themselves in the military. I think that's super powerful. So I'm proud to be an American. Happy birthday to the veterans, and happy birthday, America.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
This is phenomenal.